My name's Meg. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to start your own LLC. I was really lucky. If you have looked at my boyfriend Chris Heckman's channel at all, he will tell you he Googled for about 2 weeks how to start an LLC. It's something that not a lot of people talk about. It's something that you have to do for your business. You do it once and you don't really have to worry about it again after that. But it can be a little confusing. You know, you're talking about legal stuff, you're talking about tax, IRS stuff. You want to be making sure that you're setting up your LLC appropriately. And luckily for me, I had Chris who walked me through it, showed me what he does. And so that's what I want to do today. I want to go through, talk about how to start your own LLC, the steps that you need to take, and kind of go from there. So let's dive into it. We'll do a screen share. I'll walk you through what I do when I started my LLC, and if you want to have multiple. So first, you can just Google inkfile.com. It's an online LLC service that allows you to start your business in any state. It's really easy. They pretty much walk you through the steps, but there are some spots that are still a little bit confusing. So we'll go through and get started. When you get to Inkfile, you're going to want to click just start my business, assuming that you've never been on this website before. So I'm going to click start my business. Okay, start your business with confidence. It's going to give you a drop-down arrow. What kind of business are you starting? Are you doing an LLC? Are you an S Corp, C Corp, nonprofit? We're just going to do LLC. Later on, we can talk about other classifications like S Corp and C Corp. You don't have to worry about that when you're first starting out. You're just going to want to do a normal LLC. And then you're going to pick the state in which you're forming it. So I'm from Pennsylvania, so I'll click Pennsylvania. And then you're going to see these different levels like, hey, which one do you want to go for? I always pick the gold. It just gives you get a lot for the amount that it costs. So this is one of those things. This is one of those upfront costs that you need to do in order to start your own business. You don't need millions or thousands of dollars, but you do need a couple hundred just to get the ball rolling. And starting your LLC is definitely one of them. But Inkfile takes a lot of the stress, a lot of the work off of you. So you basically just put in your information. They file everything with the state that you're forming in, and you receive an email with all of the correct documentation that you need for starting your own LLC. So I always go with gold. We're going to click get the gold package. Great. First, you're going to put in your name. So we'll just say I'm Scooby-Doo. And then you'll do an email. So Scooby-Doo@gmail.com. Again, we're just making stuff up at this point. 610-123-1234. Okay. 123 Sesame Street. It has to be a city, so we'll say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19019. Okay, cool. So first thing that you're going to do is put in your mailing address. Click next. Great, processing the information. Okay, state filing time. This is completely up to you. It depends on what your timeline is for starting your business. It does typically take a few weeks. And again, this could differ from state to state, but you can choose a 12-week filing, and that's usually the maximum amount of time that it would take to file this, or you can pay a little bit extra to have it done roughly within like 2 weeks. I did the 20 business days when I was starting my LLC just because I wanted to get the ball rolling. It takes a little bit to get all of the legal stuff in order for like just jumping into starting a Shopify store one day. So I did the 20 business days filing time, and it really did take about 2 weeks for me to get all of my paperwork. So we can just say 20 business days. Again, completely up to you. So now you're going to go and put in what you would want your LLC to be. It really doesn't matter. I think a lot of people stress about the name of their LLC. They want it to be perfect and they think it needs to match with the brand that they're building, and that's not the case whatsoever. It can be a made-up word even if you wanted it to be. Truly, it's just coming up with a name that works, that hasn't already been selected in your state. Really, the only place that people are ever going to see the name of your LLC is on a business credit card. It'll say that with your name and in like the privacy and terms of service on your site. Other than that, it does not need to be associated with the brand that you're trying to build. So we can just say Scooby-Doo Holdings. So it would legally be Scooby-Doo Holdings LLC. Again, LLC. So that's how it's going to be displayed. Then you're going to select the number of members. If you're just doing this yourself, you can press 1. If you're somebody who has a business partner, then you can choose, it looks like up to 6. In this case, I'm just going to select 1. Business purpose. This is where you need to talk about kind of the type of business that you're going to do. Are you a consulting business? Are you an e-commerce business? E-commerce, you can say retail. You just have to kind of write a little blurb. That way they tell the state that you're filing in kind of like the jurisdiction that you fall into. So we can just say like e-commerce and retail. That's what I wrote for mine. It doesn't have to be anything crazy or fancy, but it can be helpful. So down here in the state of Pennsylvania and a lot of other states, they recommend that you use sometimes use a virtual address, or you may also see sometimes certain states require you to have a designated person who would get any kind of legal information. If you did get into legal trouble with your business, it's like a designated agent. So depending on the state you're in, it may ask you for that, and you may need to have somebody to do that. Other states don't require you to, but we'll just click choose my own address. Again, you're not going to put your address really on anything besides verifying your business for certain aspects within running your business. So we can just say use my address. It can be the same as your mailing address. So there we go. We can just say all other general merchandise. Again, that's just going to give Incfile a little bit more information about the type of business that you're trying to do, and they'll relay that to the state that you're signing up in. We'll move on. Anytime it's asking for an upgrade, I never do it. So we can click no thanks, I'll pass on this opportunity. Again, if you want to read through it and do it that way, that's fine. That's just not the way that I've done it. I've always gone a different route to get my domain and set up my email addresses and all of that jazz. But if it's something that you want to do, feel free. I always click no thanks, I'll pass on this. It's then going to ask about information about yourself. Who is creating this LLC? Scooby-Doo is. And we're going to do the same address as before, unless you have multiple addresses that you want to be putting in. This is where if you had multiple people, you have multiple business partners, this is where you would list all of your business partners' names, their addresses, and then the percent of ownership of the LLC that you have discussed. So because this is only one person, it makes sense that you have 100% of the ownership. Moving forward. Here we go. This is what I was talking about, the registered agent information. So Pennsylvania does require an LLC to have a registered agent. The beauty of Incfile is that they find this person for you, and you pay a fee every year to keep that person up to date. I just did the one through Incfile, so it's free for your first year. Afterwards, you're going to get charged yearly for that registered agent. Again, not every state requires you to have one, but Pennsylvania does. So we can just say we'll do the one that Incfile does. Just takes the headache out of it. You're more than welcome to find your own registered agent, but I don't have time to be doing that. This is where it's going to ask you about tax information. You're going to need to put in your social security number because the state that you're registering in, they need to know who you are and what this LLC is going to be tied to. When you are an LLC, you get taxed the same. So whether you are working a normal 9-to-5 job and are doing your LLC on the side, all of that comes together into one big pot when it comes to tax season. So you do do need to attach your LLC to yourself, they like connect it, you know, that's high level thinking. But no, I'm not a foreign individual. I do have a social security number. I would put in my social security number here. So this is not my social security number, but we can do that. Physical street address. Basically, where can the IRS send any information to you? It needs to be a real mailing address. It can't be a PO box. So just put in your normal address into this space. And that's pretty much it. We're getting to the very end. Again, this is one of those, hey, this is an extra special thing that we're throwing in the mix. Would you want to bank with Bank of America? Yada, yada, yada. You can read through all of this. If that's the bank that you want to go with, great. You can definitely do that. I'm just going to say no. I don't bank with Bank of America. I bank with Chase. So I would rather set all of my stuff up with the bank that I already use. So no, not at this time. Again, here's a little added thing. Do you want to receive a tax consultation for free? Not interested? That's completely up to you. I chose not interested mainly because I had my boyfriend that I could bounce all of my questions off of. He already had like an accountant that I could work with, a bookkeeper that I could work with. So I clicked not interested at this time. If you're somebody who has never done this, you don't know too much about business taxes and all of that, you can definitely click it. It's a free consultation. You can bounce all of your ideas off of them, ask them all the questions that you want. This actually would be something that I would potentially click yes for going through it a second time. But for this case, we'll say no, not interested. Again, this is kind of an upsell that people look for. We found 3 licenses. I'm not concerned about that. Shopify and other platforms are going to tell you whether you are hitting like legal requirements. So getting started, you really don't need to worry about that stuff. We kind of tackle things as they occur within our business. So I would say no thanks. I'm not going to put another $100 into this and file these applications. That's also something that you can talk to a tax expert about, or even call your state and ask if you're really concerned that you're not doing something correctly. Call your state, ask the questions. They're going to be more than helpful, because if you are needing to pay something, the state's going to want you to pay it. So we'll say no thanks. This is where you're going to review all of your information that you have plugged in. Make sure that all the information's correct, the correct phone number, the correct email address, mailing address, physical address. You want to make sure that it is all perfect and pristine, because these are legal documents. You don't want to lie on any of them. We know that we have our registered agent for the first year, which is great. Make sure that all makes sense, looks good. We're going to click next, and it's going to take you to your payment page. It's going to say like, woohoo, great. Now give us your credit card information. But there we go. That's walking you through how to file your first LLC. It's going to cost you about $380. It's a one-time thing. Once you start your LLC, it runs until you shut it down. And you can do a lot more with your LLC. You don't need to be building like multiple LLCs for every little thing that you're doing. But this is the first step to starting your own business. So congratulations if you made it all the way through the end. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, comment below. Again, please like and subscribe to my channel. The links below are affiliate links, so I do get a kickback from that. Again, you don't need to click those links. You can Google and get to Inkfile yourself. If you want to check out my Slack channel, it's where I'm building a community for other people that are starting, or even if you have been in business for a little bit, can get together, chat, ask questions. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer those questions for you, but you can join. It's $4.99 a month. Again, you can choose to do that or just comment below and I will get back to your questions as soon as I can. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and you have a little bit more clarification on starting your first LLC.